In the intricate tapestry of global geopolitics, certain regions consistently find themselves at the nexus of tension, their sovereignty perpetually tested by historical shadows and contemporary pressures. Today, the Baltic States stand as a poignant example, navigating a landscape fraught with regional complexities and external challenges. Their resolute actions, particularly from Latvia, signify a profound shift from cautious observation to decisive self-preservation, signaling a clear intent to fortify their borders and identity against any perceived encroachment. The recent series of measures undertaken by these nations, especially Latvia's stringent approach to residency and security, reflects a deep-seated understanding of the existential threats emanating from their eastern neighbour and a determination to secure their future on their own terms. Latvia, a nation acutely aware of its vulnerable position, has embarked on a visible and firm strategy to prevent any precedent for external interference, particularly from Russia. With its sovereignty consistently questioned and undermined by Russian state-linked media narratives, Riga has taken the significant step of ordering the mass expulsion of certain Russian citizens from the country. This move is complemented by direct requests for enhanced security assistance from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, underscoring the Baltic conviction that a Russian invasion remains an all too real and immediate threat directly on their borders. Specifically, Latvian authorities issued a deadline for 841 individuals to leave the country after they failed to successfully clear new, stringent language and security checks. Those who do not comply face severe consequences, including the loss of essential public services and the very real possibility of deportation. This action is not an isolated incident but rather a direct follow-through to a separate legislative act already in place, which notably bars Russian citizens from purchasing property within Latvia. This earlier measure was strategically designed to prevent external actors from subtly acquiring influence through real estate transactions, thereby safeguarding national interests. Collectively, these policies serve to systematically close numerous access points that previously allowed individuals or entities with ties to Russia to operate within Latvia with minimal oversight. These access points included bank accounts, rental contracts, property ownership, and local voting registrations. The comprehensive nature of these restrictions aims to dismantle potential networks of influence and ensure greater national security. Administratively, the implementation of these new laws also presents a significant test for the Latvian state apparatus. The efficiency and speed with which local registries, police forces, and courts can process the necessary checks, close any existing loopholes, and handle potential appeals will be critical in determining the effectiveness of this legislation. The challenge lies in ensuring that the law functions as a robust and impermeable security filter, rather than devolving into a bureaucratic quagmire with potential humanitarian repercussions. The government's ability to manage this complex process will be a key indicator of its resolve and capacity to protect its national interests effectively. The historical context underpinning these contemporary actions is crucial for a complete understanding. During the decades of Soviet rule, Moscow systematically orchestrated large-scale demographic shifts by moving significant numbers of ethnic Russians into the Baltic states. This deliberate policy created towns and districts where Russian speakers constitute a substantial portion of the population, establishing the very communities that Moscow now frequently claims it needs to protect. This pretext for intervention is alarmingly similar to the narrative Russia employed to justify its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, making the Baltic states particularly vigilant. Due to this fraught history, the Baltic governments unequivocally treat migration and residency regulations not merely as administrative paperwork, but as fundamental matters of national security. The capitals of the Baltic nations perceive Russia as potentially repeating the Donbass playbook, a strategy where Russia labels a Russian-speaking minority as persecuted, thereby manufacturing a pretext for military intervention. What ultimately pushed these underlying political tensions into overt action was a sharp escalation in incidents and provocations. A particularly stark example occurred on September 19, when 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets brazenly entered Estonian airspace for approximately 12 minutes before being intercepted by Allied aircraft. This incident prompted the invocation of NATO's Article 4, a rare political escalation intended to unequivocally signal alliance concern without immediately necessitating a call to military action. Adding to the gravity of the situation, a Russian diplomat openly and unapologetically stated that these flights were deliberate and should be considered as a response to Ukrainian strikes on Crimea. This astonishing admission solidified public opinion across the Baltic region, intensifying concerns, especially as Russian state-linked media began increasingly employing overtly imperial-toned language. This rhetoric dismissively referred to Baltic capitals, implicitly challenging their sovereignty by, for example, calling Estonia by its historical name under Russian imperial occupation, Estland province and governorate. Such language normalizes the Russian claim that the post-Soviet map is contestable and fosters a narrative of protective responses, precisely the dangerous story the Baltic states fear Moscow might leverage to justify future aggression. Immediately, these expulsion measures inevitably make daily life more challenging for the individuals compelled to leave, who face the distressing loss of housing, employment, and access to basic services. Simultaneously, every person who remains within Latvia now faces stricter identification checks and more thorough background screenings. Yet, the strategic benefit for Latvia is significant. By removing individuals who historically enjoyed easy access to local networks, the government effectively closes off several potential routes Moscow could have utilized for covert influence operations, espionage, or exerting subtle pressure. Beyond these internal security measures, Latvia has proactively requested advanced F-35 stealth fighters to patrol and protect its airspace, an unequivocal demonstration of its commitment to deterring further Russian provocations. This comprehensive approach, combining internal regulatory tightening with external defensive posturing, underscores the nation's determination to secure its borders and sovereignty. However, this resolute approach, characterized by expelling individuals and prohibiting property sales, is not without its complexities and trade-offs. Such hard-line measures could potentially provide Russia with the very narrative it seeks to justify an invasion, claiming it as a necessary step to protect ethnic Russians. While these actions undoubtedly create real human problems and lead to business losses, it is crucial to note that ethnic Russians residing in Latvia were reportedly given ample opportunity to come into compliance with the new immigration laws. Only those who actively refuse to meet the updated requirements are currently facing expulsion. Moreover, the alternative, doing nothing, would leave critical vulnerabilities exposed, allowing hostile influence to persist and potentially deepen. As the ongoing conflict in Ukraine vividly demonstrates, Russia possesses the capacity and willingness to fabricate a pretext for a full-scale invasion regardless of the specific circumstances. Ultimately, the confluence of Latvia's expulsion policies, the alarming MiG incidents over Estonia, and Russia's persistent efforts to undermine Baltic sovereignty collectively underscore a pivotal realization: the Baltic states can no longer afford to merely protest. They must transition firmly from diplomatic objections to concrete, decisive action. By systematically removing legal and economic avenues for Moscow to exert influence, these nations are effectively severing the quiet roots of potential interference and manufactured justification. Pairing these internal measures with strengthened NATO patrols and increased defensive capabilities serves to robustly secure the region against any potential fallout or escalation, reinforcing their resilience and determination in a volatile geopolitical climate. The unwavering resolve displayed by the Baltic nations, particularly Latvia, in safeguarding their sovereignty and security serves as a powerful testament to their commitment to self-determination. Their actions underscore the critical importance of vigilance and proactive measures in the face of persistent external threats. As the region navigates these complex challenges, the pursuit of a secure and independent future remains paramount, reflecting a deeply ingrained understanding that true peace hinges on unyielding defense and unwavering national integrity.